Hello and welcome to the Dutching channel. It's Friday the 3rd of May 2024. We've just gone 20 past or 25 past 9 in the morning, and we're going to do a tutorial here for the 2000 guineas tomorrow. Now this is a no betting race for me because I don't have enough form to go on, but it's literally only two horses that have run twice, but I need everyone to have run 3 times. So we're still going to work out the race, all right, so we can see if we can get anything other than this odds-on favourite City of Troy, and that would be another reason I haven't done it as well, because even if they all had a run 3 times, I don't back odds-on favourites if they are my number 1 selection. So we can see there are 11 going to post at the moment, so we will take all the others out that I put in as a template. So we'll take all them away. And we will start to put in the selections. So El Yanabi. And we've got City of Troy. I wonder how that's progressed over the winter. Then we've got Ghost Writer. Hartem. Very in and out horse that was last season. An Iberian. Inisherin. Night Raider, that run a couple of times at Southall on the all-weather, didn't beat very much. And we've got Notable Speech. That's Charlie Appleby with William Beautiful. And of course here's the talking horse other than City of Troy. This is Rosalion. The form stands up behind this horse in a big way. Task Force and 10 Bob Tony. So that's the 11 that we've got going to post. If you've watched any of these tutorials, you'll see how I come up with the final figure. And if you followed us yesterday, you will see that we had a really good day. But it's been good for a while. We haven't profited in all of those days, but it has been pretty good. So we'll start at the top with El Ninabi, and you can see that the horses should have run 3 times. I know we've got a couple that have run twice. So what we're going to do here, we click on the first of these races. And now Yanabi, we need to take the Racing Post rating from the winner, which is City of Troy in this instance, and we've got 124. Then we need to take away how far El Yanabi was beaten by the winner, and that was beaten by 3.5 lengths, so that comes down as a minus 3.5. And then the weights were level, so that means that will come in at 0. So we'll click off that one, and now we'll move into the second one. Now if a horse has won, you can't change its Racing Post rating at all. So that becomes 109. It hasn't been beaten, so that is a 0. You can't adjust that with anybody else's weight because no one's finished second or lower, so that also becomes a 0. So it's quite easy when you get a winner just to put the 109.00. That's done. And then the third race down, El Yanabi here. 110 for the Racing Post rating and got beat 4 3/4 lengths. Now remember, when you put the horse's beaten figure in, it needs to be the one that's in brackets. If it's second, it won't have brackets because that's the only horse it's been beaten by as the top one. But you can see in this instance, Al Yanabi got beaten nose by Ancient Wisdom, but we're not interested in the one above. We're interested in the winner, in this case Rosalian, and that 4 3/4 will be in brackets. And then we go again to the weights. Both carried 9 stone 5, so there is no difference in the weights. So we need the top rated in the last 3 races, which in this case is 120.5. And we put that in the next column. Now, as we're over this side, we've moved across now to the right, and we're going to do the weight column. Now, the weight column is basically this here. Now, the standard weights in the UK are 9 stone 2. So if we would put the weights in here, there's no adjustment needed, all right, because that is the standard weight of 9 stone 2. If a horse was carrying 8 stone 11 for some reason, then you would need to add £5 on for that to get to 9 stone 2. But in this case, everyone's run the same weight. So what it means to say is, as in like a handicap, if everyone's carrying the same weight, then basically the best horse or the highest rated horse should win. So now we're going to go into our second our second horse, which is City of Troy. Now, remember, this is 1 3 out of 3, so we only need the top RPR for each of those races. You don't need to click on and go anywhere else. So you've got 124, 118, and 103. So we go 124.00, 118.00, and 103.00. And the highest of these 3 is going to be 124. Into our third horse, which is Ghostwriter. Clive Cox and Richard Kingscote here. I think they've got chances on this one. And again, this horse has won all 3, so it'll be 108, 99, 89. So 108, 99, 00, and the last one there was 89, 00. So the highest of those 3 would be 108. So at the moment, just working out these 3, we can see that City of Troy is 124, El Yanabi is 120.5, and Ghostwriter is 108. But when we come to be putting the whole field in descending order, we will use this column, which has just got the orange total at the top. So we will do that at the end, because you may think to yourself, well, I don't really want to bash all my money on City of Troy, but I will be looking for a few place bets, each way bets, forecast bets, or without a favourite market. There's all that to consider. You don't just need to be doing City of Troy. Now this is Hartem. As I said, had a very in and out season, I felt, last year, and the times that I backed it when I thought it was going to win, it didn't win, then you don't back it and then it wins. Right, the last win, 113. So again, you don't need to adjust anything. That will just be the 113. Now, it came 5th in its second race down. So this time, we go in for the RPR of 124. And the next column we need is how many lengths it's been beaten, which was 8.5. So that becomes a minus. And then again, the weights here were all 9 stone 3, so there's no difference in the weights. And the time before that, Hartem came 5th. And 103 was the Racing Post rating that day. Hartem was beaten 1 1/4 lengths, so 1.25 on the minus. And the weights this time, Hartem was on 9 stone 6 and Array was on 9 stone 3. So there's a difference of £3 there, but it will be a plus £3 for Hartem because he's got the higher weight. So that will be a plus 3. So again, we go in and have a look at the top 3 here. Now the second race in was 115.5. And this is the thing you can't see with the naked eye. If you was to go and have a look here, you would see that it's won a good race off 113. You go, wow, that looks good. But 5th of 8 and a rating of 99, if you actually do the ratings the way I do them, it comes up with a better figure than the last time out. And that's most probably why you could have had that last time out, because your rating would have been 115.5 going into that race. But you can't see it with the naked eye. The next horse we're going to look at is Iberian. This is number 5. And I remember I had this last year when it won, I think, the Brazilian, going back to that. So we're going to work out the first race for Iberian. Again, it was in this race with City of Troy, 124 RPR, and it got beat by 9 lengths. So we take the 9 off. The weight in this race seems to be, with everyone we check, on levels, so that's a 0. The race before that, when it won, was off 111. So again with the 0, 0. And the last race, this third race down, it came second. And that was to Hartem, which is running today. And the RPR that day was 105. Iberian was beaten by 1 length, so -1, and the weights were exactly the same, so nothing to change there. The best of those 3 is 115, and you can see with Iberian, 104, 111, 115, just like City of Troy and El Yanabi and Ghostwriter, these 4 horses are all improving with their numbers. Inish Erin is at number 6. So we'll go and have a look at this one. Now this is one of the 2 horses that's only run twice, and that's the 2 reasons why I don't do it, because only 3 lines of form and that odds-on thing with City of Troy. I think we're going to have it at the top, but I don't know, of course, until we go through it properly. So this one here, one of 86 last time. Admittedly, these numbers that we get are pretty much as a 2-year-old. Again, 86 is very low for this kind of company. Over the winter, they could have strengthened up. There's a lot of things that can happen, and that number will most probably certainly improve. So we'll go back to this race here where Inish Erin finished second. The RPR was 91 this day, and it got beat half a length. so minus 0.5, both off 9 stone 2, so that was the last one. So when you go here, the 90.5 in the second of those, or the first race it did, was better than the second. So 90.5 Inish Erin. The next one we want to have a look at is Night Raider. This is the one that I said had run a couple of times on the all-weather at Southall for Carl Burke. Very hard to assess because there was some really, I don't know how to put it really, but there was some really under-strength competition in those races. But we're going to put this up at 104 and 96, so 104.00 because it won, and 96.00 because that won. So out of those two races, we know it's improving, and a 104 was its best rating of the two. That's why I like 3, because that third one could have been in this race. And then next time when it runs, I've got something to back it up. Notable Speech is the next one. This is Charlie Appleby and William Newick. Another one that's pretty much hard to assess here. It's won 3 races, all at Kempton on the all-weather. Not sure it was meant to be for this race because they haven't run it on the grass. And the 3 numbers we need, 109, 101 and 90. So 109.00, 101.00, 90.00. And that 109, and again, you can see that it's improving with every run, but 109 is its highest. Then we've got Rosalian. This was one that done, I think, the track record over in Paris Longchamp in October. I think it was October the 1st, that race. And won impressively, and a few behind it have come out and won since. So we'll have a look at the form here. Now, last time out it won off 117. So that's a 117 and a 00. Then the time before that, it was 3rd. This was at Doncaster, the Champagne Stakes. And this run off 111 RPR and got beat by 3.5 lengths. And the weights there are pretty much the same, so nothing to plus or take away there. And the time before that, it won on 110 with the 00. So 117 is its best run, but it hasn't improved from the first run. A bit like Harten, that hasn't either. Or Inish Erin. Not that it doesn't mean they can't win, of course, because I'm only after the best form line in its last 3. Other than Inish Erin and Night Raider, of course, that have only got 2. Right, Task Force is our number 10. This is Rafe Beckett, Ross Ryan. And last time out, this came 2nd. And that was another good horse, wasn't it? Van Dijk. I expected I was going to see that today as well. Right, 117 got beat 2.25 lengths. So that was that, and again the weight was exactly the same. And before that had won its previous 2 off 188, so 100, 00 and 88, 00. And 114.75 would be our best form line, and again this horse has improved all 3 runs. And the last one we're going to look at, number 11, 10 Bob Tony. This is Ed Walker, and Safi Osborne gets the ride here. And last time out, this one off of 103, so a 0-0 to follow that. Then the race before, it finished 6th of 8. And 10 Bob Tony, the RPR that day was 102 and got beat by 3 lengths. And the weights were level again on 9.2, so no change there. And the last race for 10 Bob Tony, 1 off of 89. So again, it has improved with all 3 runs, but is only off of 103 with its best rating. So we're going to now put all these in order. And that's it. You can see now that City of Troy is going to be our best selection now. Our number 1, but in 2nd and 3rd, I don't think there's really much to tell you. That's why I hadn't done it before this. Al Yanabi, we've got to finish in 2nd, Rosali in 3rd, and then we got it close up with Hartem and Iberian for 4th. So there's nothing exciting there. So I'm going to plump for City of Troy as my top selection, and Al Yanabi most probably would be one for me if I had to look at something a little bit bigger. Let's go in to Odds Checker, where I did put everything up here. And City of Troy, I think the bookies are trying to get some money in on it. You can get anything between 8 to 11, 8 to 13. And Al Yanabi at the moment is Bet365's 18. So that's about the standard price for Al Yanabi. I most probably would be looking at this horse for an each way bet or a place bet if I was looking to do something in that race, but I won't be betting in it. And then you've got Rosalian, which I've got for 3rd. That's mostly an each way bet if you want to get your money back if it gets placed. And then we've got Hartem at 33 to 1. We've got Iberian at 28 to 1. And I think that's about it really. I don't really fancy this Godolphin horse, but they can improve at any point. So that's going to be the 2,000 guineas, which is underway at Newmarket tomorrow at 3:35. But thanks for watching this tutorial. And I think I'm going to do one now for the 1,000 guineas, so we can look into that and see if we can come up with something different other than the favourite. Thanks for watching.